I'd like to introduce to you today's speaker, Nathan Zastoupil. Nathan is going to tell his own story, so I won't say much about him except it was just about exactly a year ago, February of last year, that Nathan contacted me and said, would Prince of Peace like to start a deaf ministry? He said, you don't know me, but would you like to start a deaf ministry? And so we got together and talked, and the conversations went further, and the long story short is we have a deaf ministry. Nathan has been a great leader for us in that, plus just a real good friend already to many of us. So I'm not introducing him as a guest speaker, because he's not a guest. He's a member of this congregation together with his beautiful family, some of whom we introduced earlier. His wife Carrie, his little girl Nora, have been a wonderful addition to our congregation. And so I'll let him take it from here. Please welcome Nathan Zastoupil.
I am here to talk about my deafness, the past challenges in life, and future challenges for the rest of my life. My hearing loss has truly impacted my life in many different ways. Thank you, Pastor Helstedt, for inviting me to come speak today. I am very honored and happy to be here to share my deaf experiences with all of you. As some of you may watch Northern Illinois University football games on TV, you may have seen on the back of their football helmets the hard way. It's a trademark that defines NIU as the history of the football team overcoming so many difficult obstacles and getting themselves on the rise to the national exposure without giving up and believing in each other. The Huskies also have a culture of proving so many doubters wrong. I strongly feel related to that trademark slogan at NIU, and this has made this become a personal meaning to myself, and it really defines myself. Not that I only went there for school, I lived myself the hard way by believing in myself while growing up and overcoming so many difficult obstacles and proving a lot of doubters wrong without giving up. I was born on February 1982 in Rockford, Illinois, with an auditory nerve loss. My hearing loss was not discovered until a much later time. My mom suspected that I was not hearing anything for a while. While I was 18 months old, she did an at-home experiment to verify my hearing ability. She grabbed kitchen pan and stood behind me, banging them as loud as she could. I was now responding to the banging noises from the kitchen pan. This experiment showed my parents that I'm deaf. I went to the audiologist for some hearing tests, and these results verified that I was deaf. I began wearing hearing aids right away at 18 months old. Putting the hearing aids on for the first time was not the resolution to my hearing problem, as I was at a beginning of a long way to go with my deafness and the challenges that I would be experiencing for the rest of my life at the hard way. At the time hearing aids were put on, I did not respond to the sound coming to my ears because I did not know how to respond to the sound. It took a few years for me to learn how to finally respond and react to the sound. For a while, if someone was calling my name to get my attention, I did not know how to react to name calling. In other words, it was like sound coming in one ear, going through my head, and out the other ear. While discovering this hearing loss at 18 months old, I had to learn English and sign language at the same time because I was not speaking at all. According to my mom, it took a few years to finally learn how to listen to the sound and react to the sound. I began talking at 3.5 years old after a preschool teacher made a comment saying that I would never speak in my life. From that time when I began speaking until the time of the end of junior high school, I attended speech therapy for 2 to 3 days a week. There were so many ups and downs in speech therapy. The hardest thing for me in speech therapy were pronouncing words starting and ending with the letter F, the letter F. I also had a hard time pronouncing things that had a TH or a SH at the end of the word. While developing language, sign language, and speech therapy, I attended preschool with other deaf kids that were going through a similar situation that I was going through. The preschool classes had teachers and teachers' aides using sign language to communicate and teach us. Throughout elementary school years, I attended deaf classes with these deaf classmates where the teachers signed and educated us. It was a pretty slow learning class where it took a longer time to develop language and other subjects. As I reached junior high school, I studied to mainstream where some of my classes were with teachers and students that do not use sign language but required a sign language interpreter to be there. For example, STEM classes, art classes were the mainstream classes that I went to with a sign language interpreter there. I continued to take some deaf classes when it comes to subjects like English, algebra, history, science. These deaf classes were still slow learning as I was sort of behind on vocabulary and language. While attending junior high school, I was starting to understand what was going through in my life with my hearing loss. I realized that I had been labeling myself as a hard of hearing person instead of a deaf person. One day in junior high school, a teacher who was also my case manager was introducing me to another teacher or a student teacher and said that I am a deaf student. It became so bothersome to me to be called a deaf person because I don't like it that it just becomes like to give people the wrong idea. The word deaf makes it like mute, no ability to talk, no ability to hear. And I label myself hard of hearing because I function like it, where I can talk and I can hear something. So when I saw the former teacher one day and told her about the situation, she told me that the teacher was more focused on the audiogram, because my audiogram says that I'm a deaf person. And of course, I don't function like a deaf person. So I talked to her about it, and I asked her to please do not label me as deaf, and please label me as a hard of hearing person. She did not like my wishes. But we compromised and agreed that I would be labeled as a hearing impaired person for the time being. So I went to high school and I began the first 2 years taking the deaf classes and some mainstream classes similar to what I did in junior high. Then I was thinking about the long term where I need to get myself prepared for college coming up, and I completely mainstreamed in every single class for the rest of my high school years to have a sign language interpreter for every single class that I went to. It was a huge challenge for me because I was so behind on language and vocabulary. However, I was so fortunate that I got some extra help and extra need to understand things better with teachers after school, and I completed high school with a high school diploma. Toward the end of my high school year, I had 2 deaf teachers point out that there would be no way I would be successful in college and I would not be able to graduate college because of who I am, the low language, and the lack of vocabulary that I had. It was so bothersome to me to have teachers like that become so negative on me and not having any faith in my future. Their comments became so personal to me. Because this happened, it was a big motivational tool for me and a constant reminder for me in the back of my mind that I had established a personal goal of mine besides the primary goal of getting a college degree. My personal goal was to prove these teachers wrong. I felt like I had to show them that I could be capable of doing anything and to graduate with a college degree. I was on a mission doing my personal goal the hard way. College was very challenging for me, especially studying at Rock Valley College, a community college in Rockford. It took me longer to finish out community college than I started taking below 101 level developmental classes. I took a lot of tutoring sessions for a lot of classes at the college. All of my classes at the college had note takers and a sign language interpreter provided through the college. I was very active working through the student newspaper at Rock Valley College as a sports editor, sports writer, managing editor, editor-in-chief. There were so many people across the college campus saying the newspaper would never be successful in winning the state among junior college newspapers because a deaf guy is running the newspaper. It turned out that my newspaper was ranked first in the state in overall excellence in layout during my time as the editor-in-chief. It was a great feeling to prove these people wrong, and I was doing it the hard way. It took me 4 working years to finally graduate with a college degree in associate's in IT. As I got that at Rock Valley College, I knew I could be able to graduate college. I felt like I needed to prove these high school teachers wrong by doing more. I wanted to continue doing the hard way. I wanted to make my lifelong dreams come true by attending Northern Illinois University in DeKalb. Going to NIU with the best life experience I have ever gone through. Not that I only have season tickets every year for the football game. I love NIU with all of my heart. NIU holds a special place in my heart. The university means so much to me. Everyone at NIU was so good to me, meeting all of my hearing needs of an interpreter, a note taker, and whatever things I needed to do to become successful there. I also became a vice president for a student organization called Deaf Pride, which was an organization that promotes deaf awareness through the community and NIU campus. I also serve on a student with disability advisory board at NIU to improve the accessibility needs across the campus. I graduated Northern Illinois University after 2.5 years of being there with a bachelor's degree in art. It was an icing on the cake that now I have 2 college degrees under my name, and that I succeeded my personal goal of proving these high school teachers wrong. Once again, 2 college degrees. It is the biggest reason why I relate myself to the hard way slogan that NIU has. And I currently stir myself with pride, having 2 college degrees under my name. I can continue to carry myself through the hard way, through the working world. During the 10 summer years as a high schooler and a college student, I worked at Magic Water Park in Rochester doing ground TV and maintenance. A supervisor had told me that I worked so hard on the job all the time and that I deserved to get promoted. But I would never get promoted because I cannot function without a radio walkie-talkie. Being told like that was totally not right to me. And I had spoken with some higher up supervisors about the comments. And I believe that I strongly deserved to get that promotion, no matter if I had a hearing loss or not. When people found out about it, they were so furious to have it happen to me, and they had corrected some things for me and had made several accommodations for me to become a supervisor without having a radio walkie-talkie on the job. So for the last 4 or 5 years on the job, it went smooth and worked out so well for me. So after being laid off at a factory job in Rochester, I had so many different job interviews across the Chicagoland area, and I was turned down at a lot of positions that I applied for. A lot of warehouse jobs did not want to hire me because of sticky reasons involving forklifts moving around. I felt like it was not fair to me to not be given a chance to have a job. So I was without a job for about 1.5 years. So very special thanks to a very good family friend of mine. She got me a job working in her department at a temporary position, and then I moved on to a different department for the long-term permanent basis. As I worked my way into my current position that I have right now, I am now a telematics product supervisor at Power Solutions International, which is an industrial engine company in Wooddale. I have been with the company now for almost 8 years. The company that I work for have been so good to me, and they have made so many good accommodations for me I work in an electronics lab, studying office filled with 5 different computers, with the doors locked and closed. I've had people knocking on my doors, and sometimes I don't hear the knocks on my door. Because I cannot hear some of the knocks, there's a doorbell outside my office where someone needs to come talk to me. They'll ring the doorbell and I have a light flashing. And also I have a flashing fire alarm installed in my room if there's a fire alarm going off. I cannot hear fire alarms going off because of the high-pitched noise. So I rely heavily on face-to-face communication, email and text messaging to be able to communicate with my coworker and, of course, customers. So, I have a funny story that happened to me 10 or 11 years ago. It's okay for me to tell you about it. I mean, it's okay for me to tell you that you guys can laugh about it because it's funny to me now. And I have told so many times to many people about this story. So one morning, my best friend and I, we were on our way to a Cubs game and we wanted to get on the Metro. So we got there so early. So we're like, let's go to McDonald's to have some breakfast and let the time go. So my best friend is completely deaf. He cannot talk, cannot hear. So me and him, we just signed to each other and talk. So anyway, we were in line, getting ready to order our food, and as we got to the register, we were given a braille menu, a menu for blind people. So when that happened, we were so puzzled, we were looking at each other like, what? So, as we told the lady at the register, we can see but what you cannot hear. So my best friend was pointing next to me, pointing at me, saying, Nathan's got glasses, he can see. And she's like, you guys are laughing. People behind us in line were laughing so hard and just could not believe what they saw. So when this happened, my best friend and I were just sitting at the table saying, wow, what did this happen to us? So he text messaged his other deaf friend and told him what had happened to us. His friend said, oh, that's nothing to them, because it's happened to them too. And we were so shocked it happened to them. So because of what happened, I strongly believe that businesses out there, restaurants, service, business, anything, needs to be trained on how to interact with people who have disabilities. I was so impressed with the Rockford Park District providing mandatory training to the Magic water park employees, especially when I was there. They taught people how to interact with special needs people, and I was so glad to be a part of that training when I was working at the water park. So, and I married my wife Carrie about 8.5 years ago. She does not have a hearing loss at all, and I have often been asked, what is it like to be married to someone that does not have a hearing loss? There have been times when a lot of things have been heard or misunderstood. Carrie and I, we work together to talk about it, clear up some misunderstanding, whatever. Other times, there have been times where she wakes me up in the middle of the night when she's trying to tell me something and she's signing to me or lip reading something to me. I often remind her by telling her that I'm sorry. I cannot see her or hear her because the lights are off. And my glasses, my hearing aids are off. So, being married for 8.5 years, Carrie has been my rock and my backbone, because when I have hearing loss situations where I'm so down or frustrated or depressed, she listens to me. She understands what I'm going through. I'm talking about it. She is so good listening to me, and she keeps me going. And I love her. So my daughter was born 4.5 years ago, Nora. Everybody had the big question, wondering if Nora would have a hearing loss or not. After Nora took the hearing test, we found out she did not have a hearing loss at all. I became so emotional that I had tears rolling out of my eyes, because I was just so relieved, because I did not want her to have a hearing loss and go through the similar things that I have gone through in my life. You know, it wasn't a big deal to other people, because people have asked me, why are you crying? Why are you so emotional about it? I said to people, you cannot seem to understand what it's like to be deaf, and you have no experience of having the hearing loss that I have. And you know, I told so many people I wish I had the power to trade places with someone for like maybe 1 hour or 1 day to see what I'm going through. I wish I had that power to do that. So I've been thinking a lot and comparing today to the time I was born. I cannot believe how much improvement there have been in technology. I have been often asked, how well do I hear with my hearing aids on or with them off? With the hearing aids on, I hear a lot of things about 80 to 85% of the time. Without the hearing aids, I hear absolutely nothing. I cannot hear my voice without the hearing aids on. And I feel like there are two different sides of me. Like, one side of me, I could be completely deaf without wearing the hearing aids on, and then the other side of me where I could be hard of hearing with the hearing aids on. I wore my first hearing aid for about 16 years, and then I was introduced to some well-improved technology with well-advanced hearing aids when I first started college. These new hearing aids were digital hearing aids. The nice thing about these digital hearing aids that we have today is these hearing aids provide the ability to do so many different things. Compared to the first hearing aids I had at 18 months old. These digital hearing aids have a hearing comfort level bar set. When there is something very, very loud, the hearing aid would bring the loud sound down to that comfort bar level and not make it as loud as it would be. The digital hearing aids also do some things that when you hear a very quiet sound, the quiet sounds are even boosted up to the comfort level. Same thing with the loud sound. And it provides a better chance of hearing it better. With these new digital hearing aids, I heard a lot of sound that I had never heard of before. These digital hearing aids picked up sounds that my older hearing aids was not capable of picking up. I heard water running for the first time. I heard birds and crickets chirping. I heard air blowing out of the air vent. I heard fans blowing. Hearing these kind of things were amazing to hear, even though those noises don't matter most of the time. Afterwards, I recently got another new round of digital hearing aids last year, and these hearing aids I have on have improved communication and hearing things better. And with the improvement of communication, I was able to communicate better with people that have foreign accents. I work with a lot of people that have Mexican accent or Polish accent. I got to understand it better because of the hearing aid picking up the accent. And I was able to hear and comprehend better with these foreign accents in order for me to communicate better with them. Hearing things 80 to 85% of the time, I still have to rely on face-to-face communication in order to read lips. This is how I grew up, and it will remain like that for the rest of my life. And if someone looks the other way, I'm not going to be able to understand what I'm being told. So, for example, if I turn the radio on, I don't know what the radio's saying because I can't read their lips. But it would be more like a mumble thing. I can hear the music, but I just don't know what they're saying when they sing the song or whatever. It's the same situation I have when it comes to talking on the telephone. I don't use the phone at all because I heavily rely on face-to-face communication. Technology has improved so many different ways to give me more communication options, which would be text messaging, email, Facebook, FaceTime on the Apple phone, and the old modern way of face-to-face communication. While watching movies or TV, I heavily rely on closed captioning that are on the bottom of the screen to understand what is being said. The cool part now is there are now a lot of movie theaters now starting to provide closed captioning to any kind of movie you want to see. I didn't have that back then when I was growing up, but we have that now. The movie theater had a device where it's like shaped like a rear view mirror in the car, but this device is, you place it in a computer. It just looks like this. It's just, you place it and it's in front of you and the words just come up while you're watching the movie. And I was so happy that they are starting to do this. And I have been going to the movies a lot more than I ever have in the past growing up. So many people have asked me, how often how do you wake up in the morning? I have a flat, round device that is plugged in my alarm clock. It vibrates in my pillowcase. It is so hard to ignore the vibration unless you want to hit the snooze button to sleep a little bit longer. I never had this alarm clock until my junior high school years. My mom had always had to wake me up in the morning before then when it's time to go to school or whatever. I'm so grateful to have a deaf ministry here at Prince of Peace. I'm so happy to be here with a sign language interpreter at our worship services 2 Sundays a month. I have enjoyed going to church a lot better than the previous years that I did not have a sign language interpreter. Going to church now has become so meaningful to me because I have a sign language interpreter. While growing up as a kid, I just liked going to church in general because I had no sign language interpreter. I just pretty much sat there in the worship services not be able to understand anything. I have gone to Sunday school for the first few years. I did not like it at all because I was not able to understand anything. So I stopped going to Sunday school. I have gone to confirmation. I did not understand anything, and I just pretty much just sat there. It was no fun for me at all. I just pretty much stopped going to church after high school. I have gone to a couple of Christian non-denominational interpret worship services during college, and I really enjoyed it. I stopped going when I was in a long-distance relationship with my girlfriend, who is now my wife, because I often come to the Schaumburg area to be with her on the weekend while I was living in Rockford at the time. My wife Terry and I, we got married at Lutheran Church of the Cross in Arlington Heights. I loved the fact that I had a sign language interpreter at my wedding. For the first several years, Terry and I, we often argued that we should go to church more often. I told her that I don't even like going to church because I just sit there and not understand anything. When a pastor at the church service would maybe throw a small joke, maybe during the announcement or anything, I just sit there and watch people laugh, but I wasn't able to laugh. There was a few Sundays like that when I'm just so grumpy all day long, and I just take it out on Terry because I was so depressed sitting at church, not understanding of what was being said. When my daughter Nora was going to have her baptism, my friend Joey Piquet, who is also a member here at Prince of Peace with my family, has set up and paid for an interpreter for Nora's baptism. This was how I first met Patty Overbeck, who you see interpret here at Prince of Peace 2 Sundays a month. Patty began coming to interpret for me once a month at Lutheran Church of the Cross for a few years, and Joey is just a wonderful friend to me, and I don't know how much I could thank her for getting me started on fulfilling interpreting needs at church. She helped me so much with all the deaf ministry projects I had at Lutheran Church of the Cross. My family and I had made the decision to start coming to Prince of Peace a year ago, and that was that time when I came to talk to Pastor Helstead. And I knew that I wanted to come to that church. I had a strong vision of having a deaf ministry at Prince of Peace, and it was the best decision I had ever made by approaching Pastor Helstead a year ago about what I wanted to bring to this beautiful church. Patty followed me to this church, and I'm so happy to have her with us at this beautiful church. I love how this church has taken the deaf ministry to a new level that I had never experienced before. I'm so grateful that we have a deaf woman and her 11-year-old son, who is also deaf, attending Prince of Peace. And I hope someday we can be able to expand the deaf ministries by bringing more deaf people to this church. I have a very strong faith to the deaf ministry, in the deaf ministry to continue growing into something very special, which it already had. Last November, we gave a free gift to our congregation by teaching a 3-time section sign language class to about 30 people who came. Everyone had a great experience. I could tell everybody in the class wanted to learn more. The deaf ministry has been successful with fundraisers at a Schaumburg Boomers outing, a dining benefit at Fuddruckers. I strongly believe the deaf ministry will have a very strong, successful fundraiser event that's coming up next month. That is the Chicago Wolves hockey game. If any of you are interested in attending this fundraiser event, I have an information flyer available for you after the presentation. I have Shannon over here that could help you out with some information, or if you have ticket orders you want to give to her, she can take it. So besides fundraiser events, the deaf ministry has also received many generous donations. I am very grateful for the deaf ministry here at Prince of Peace to continue to find ways to raise funds to cover the cost of having a sign language interpreter at our worship services 2 Sundays a month. I hope we can be able to expand the interpreting services to more than 2 Sundays a month someday. I strongly believe this will happen someday sooner or later down the road. A few weeks ago, during a worship service, Pastor Halta invited everyone not to shake hands with each other during the sharing of the peace because of the flu going on. So instead of shaking hands, he advised everyone to do sign language by doing the sign of peace be with you to each other. Oh my goodness, wow, it was so amazing seeing all those hands flying around during that time. It melted my heart. It was amazing, and it was so exciting to see so many people do this. That moment is very special to me, that I will always remember and treasure in my heart. Because of the deaf ministry growing into something very special, it's because we have a good group of people, such as Pastor Helta, Janet Aichita, Joey Pate, Kathy Sweden, and Nikki Reed for helping making things become possible. And I want to say thank you to that group of wonderful people for their energy, motivation, and desire to make this deaf ministry grow. And I also want to thank everyone here at Prince of Peace for their continued support of this deaf ministry. While having this important deaf ministry at Prince of Peace, I'm always excited to be here at this beautiful church on Sunday because I have met so many wonderful people who have welcomed me and my family here. I'm so grateful for the wonderful new friendship that I have established for the past year. After being here for a year, I'm so happy and comfortable to call this place my church home. I have been dealing with a lot of ongoing challenges that I will need to continue with for the rest of my life. I have always wanted to fit in and be able to participate in group studies, but I've had tons of lack of help trying to fit in, be able to understand group conversation, who's talking, what did this person say, I don't know what this person said, so on. So I have had a lot of challenges being at the dining table with so many people I go out with, especially extended family and friends. And when I get together with these people, I get very easily left out of the group conversations because nobody helps me understand what the conversation is about. The feeling of not understanding people understanding group conversations, and the feeling of being left out will always be an ongoing challenge that I would have to deal with for the rest of my life. While feeling frustrated at many times, I just keep telling myself to continue to look for ways to make things better for myself. And I have had some problems in the past when it comes to holiday times with extended family. Things have gotten so much better now because I have spoken up, like maybe turn that music down a little bit, or please look at me so I can understand. Things have gotten a lot better for me, and I'm going to continue to make it better for myself and for other people. I just need to continue to keep myself positive when I'm going through a frustration period. So I have grown, as I've grown up being deaf, doing the hard way, my life will continue ahead with future challenges and its obstacles. My deafness keeps my life going because I continue to prove people wrong. I continue to overcome challenges, and I tell myself, never give up. I will not allow anyone to tell me no because of my deafness. I'm going to find my way to work around the no answer by compromising. I am a strong believer in myself, and I strongly believe God keeps me going. That's how I will continue to do the hard way for the rest of my life. Thank you.
Nathan, we thank you for giving of yourself today. I know you had to arrange your schedule especially to be here, for putting yourself into this message. Thank you for inspiring us. Thank you for teaching us. Thank you for being the wonderful person that you are. We thank you so much.